Hi, I am here today to warn people about doing business with JJ's House. So I'm a music teacher, and I started taking my kids to competition, and so we decided that in order to step it up and look more professional, that we would actually have uniforms, performance uniforms. So that included um, shoes that look the same. And so we found JJ's House and decided that the price was right because these are teenagers that are paying for their own uniforms. And so I contacted them and asked them if they could do an order that big. It's about 75 pairs of shoes. And they said they could. So I placed the order at the end of September of 2019. And I even paid for expedited shipping because we go into performance season in November. So I wanted to make sure that we had plenty of time. And so uh, I was impressed in the beginning because they did send me an email that it was going to be delayed, that that JJ's House during inspection didn't like the quality of the shoes at the point in time. And so they were going to send a more quality product. And so at the time, I believed that, of course, that was true. I had no reason to believe otherwise. And so even though I paid for expedited shipping, it was going to be late. So then we get towards the end of October, and I still don't have the product. And I reached out to them, and they said that it was already delivered, that it was actually sitting at DHL, but DHL never contacted me. So I contact DHL and find out that they've been holding it, but there's an issue with the paperwork. So I'm working with DHL, and we finally get to the point where they say, okay, we have enough information. Um, you need to send us the tax customs money, or we will not give you the packages. Well, it wound up being just about 50% of the purchase price. And here in Vietnam, that happens when the companies fill out the paperwork incorrectly. And so then the Vietnamese government, they tax based on what's in the documents. So I paid, so after paying already over $1,600 for 75 pairs of shoes, I now had to pay almost $800 in customs taxes. So I reached out to them and first told them that I didn't really appreciate that, to where they automatically responded that they were happy to refund the custom taxes. I just needed to provide receipts. So I did that immediately. To this day, I still don't have the refund from that either. But finally, DHL agrees to drop off the shoes. And when they arrive, there's only 3 boxes. So we immediately open the boxes and find that it's only the girls' shoes. We're still missing 26 pair of men's shoes. So I reach out to them immediately and let them know that we're missing 26 pairs of men's shoes. And they say, okay, we'll check into it. So then I mean, this is like almost correspondence on a weekly basis, and it winds up me doing their job. So I'm constantly contacting DHL to find out what's happening, and they're saying that JJ's House didn't fill out the paperwork properly. So what happened is they filled out one document, but then they wound up separating the shipment into 2 tracking numbers. Well, the second tracking number never made it to the first invoice. So not only did I pay for all of the shoes, I also paid taxes on all of the shoes. So I immediately let JJ's House know of the situation and told them at this point, there's nothing I can do. They have to contact DHL and change the paperwork. They have to fix it. Otherwise, they're not going to deliver the shoes to me. And they say, okay, we'll get on it. Then I hear nothing. So a week later, I contact. And so this has been going on since October. So every week or two, I'm following up with them saying, where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Until I finally get to the point where I am so aggravated, I basically tell them You either need to refund the money or fix it, but I'm done with this. At this point, we've already done 3 performances without the shoes for our uniform, and they're holding on to money from teenagers. So, um, yeah, so at this point, then I find out that they really haven't done anything all along. And now, because the packages have been sitting at DHL for so long, they're now considered destroyed. And they even, JJ's House even confirmed that to me. They said, because I will never receive the package and they will now never receive the package, that they were only willing to give me a 40% refund on the shoes that I never received. So I told them that was unacceptable, that the error was on their part, that I had been notifying them since October that it was a problem with the paperwork that they filled out. And then once I started posting, I wasn't getting anywhere. I was really trying to work it out with them. I didn't do anything on social media. I kept it between the two of us. And at this point, I mean, I'm really upset. I'm upset because like I said, these are teenagers paying for their uniforms, and I don't know what company thinks that it's okay to only give a partial refund when you didn't even receive the product. If it was my fault, then I understand, but it was made clear to them through DHL that they filled out paperwork improperly. So when that happened, not only could they not deliver it to me, then I went ahead and refused the package, and they said, "You can't do that." And I said, "Why not?" They said, "Because the package doesn't have a home. I'm not listed as a recipient, and JJ's House isn't listed on anything because they didn't fill out the paperwork properly. So those shoes have no home." So DHL basically destroyed the boxes. JJ's House had every opportunity for months to rectify the problem, and they did nothing about it. So yeah, so I'm left with I'm left with having to have paid about, oh my goodness, so over 1,600 plus another 800. So that's how much has been paid out.
Stacy, I'm so sorry to hear about this issue. Certainly agree with you. No company should be behaving that way. But let us talk a little bit sort of before the issue started. You said you are currently located in Vietnam. JJ's House, a Vietnamese company, or what country are they based out of?
So what I found out through my research and through looking at other people's reviews, other people's negative reviews about JJ's House, um, is they have, I guess they registered in the US because they're listed in Arizona, but then I've also seen them listed in UK, and I've also seen that they have, I think that their clothing base, I think, is in Hong Kong. So those are the 3 locations that keep coming up. So I did also file a complaint with the Better Business Bureau because they do have a listing in Arizona.
Why did you decide to go with JJ's House? And corresponding question, did you consider any alternatives when you were looking for the supplier of those dance shoes?
So in Vietnam, it's pretty difficult to get shipments here. And previously, I had tried another company, and I just didn't like the product that came through. So the price was right, but the product was not good. And even the kids decided that they didn't want to wear those again, that they wanted a better quality. So as we were looking, previously I had ordered a pair of shoes from JJ's House, and I was fine with the shoes. Um, and I didn't have any issues with them, so I had no reason to believe that there would be any issues. But I guess one pair of shoes is very different than 75 pair of shoes. Um, but I do know that one pair of shoes, it stood up. And I never had a reason to deal with customer service because we didn't have an issue. So the price was right. I did have a pair of shoes, so I thought, okay, this would be a pretty good investment. The kids, when they looked at the shoes, they seemed to like what they look like, and so we decided, my uniform officers decided that we were going to try this, and I specifically reached out to make sure that it was something that they could do, um, and they said that they could, but we ran into issues.
Okay, okay, thank you very much. Now, let me ask you this, please. When you were corresponding or communicating with JJ Shoes, what means was it mostly by? Telephone, email, both? How did you communicate with them?
Through their website system. There's a ticketing system where you can file complaints, contact them, find out where products are, and so everything is done through their website under my account under ticketing. So there's a whole stream of these messages back and forth between me and JJ's house. They are all date and time stamped.
Very good. Do you know who were the people hierarchy-wise that you communicated with? Upper management, lower management, regular customer service folks, or somebody a bit higher up the ladder?
I think it was regular customer service. In the beginning, it was a couple different people, but right around, I think, November, December, it seems like they assigned one person to me. And I did tell them, if you can't help me, then you need to give me to somebody higher up. And I even went, that's where I started doing my research, trying to find out who the owner of the company is, or management, or how to get up above customer service's head, to get out of that ticket system, because they didn't seem to want to push me up somewhere. So I tried to find the information myself, and there just is none. But that's how I found out that there were three different listings for JJ's house. Is that, like I said, in Arizona, the UK, and Hong Kong. But none of them list an owner or any way to reach anybody other than customer service.
Hypothetically, if JJ's house, I know it's past that time when they can do something with the issue, it's already too late. But let's say somebody in customer service there finally looked through this whole mess that they are to be blamed for and decide to do something for you as the wronged customer to at least make you feel somewhat better about the situation. Is there anything that JJ's house can do for you right now?
I thought that I was being fair in the fact that I only asked them to reimburse the cost of the items that we did not receive, and to reimburse the customs fees that they actually promised way back in October. So I've been pretty fair of not asking for anything more than that. So basically, I just want the money back so that I can give it back to the kids, so that they can find a different kind of pair of shoes for their uniforms.
You know, your interview will be heard by a lot of folks when it is on the YouTube. And certainly one of the purposes for you was to go and let the issue heard. What would be the message that you would like to give in this video to folks about JJ's house? What would you like to say to your audience?
I would tell everybody that I wish that I had done some better research, because there are a lot of negative reviews out there, and I just didn't see them until it was too late. And I used my one experience, um, and I really should have looked out there more. But this is not a company to do business with. Anybody that cannot own their mistakes, and really does not have customer service, you know, right at the best of heart. I mean, they've forgotten that we're the ones that keep them in business. And so I would encourage all of you to not do businesses with companies like this. We work way too hard for money to throw it away. And right now, what they're asking me to do is throw away 50% of what was just paid. And it's not even my money, it belongs to teenagers.